I hope you're all well. Welcome to this video in which I'll be outlining some key revision tips about how you can get an A star in your AQA A-Level Psychology exam. These are some of the tips that helped me during my A-Level Psychology revision that I think helped me to get an A star. My first tip would be ensuring that you're constantly reading over the content and ensuring you understand it. Now, this may sound obvious, but with A-Level Psychology, there is a lot of content to try to remember and recall. So by repeatedly having read the content, this will help you to start storing this knowledge in your long-term memory, which you'll know from the memory topic. And also, understanding the content is important, as application is another important skill within psychology. And even if you can remember the content, if you don't understand it, it'll be very difficult to then apply your knowledge within these application AO2 questions. My second tip would be ensuring that you simplify the content. The reason I say this is because there is a lot of content within psychology, and it can be quite overwhelming with seeing everything that you have to remember if you haven't simplified it. By simplifying the content, I mean listing the key points that you want to recall for your AO1, for example, and then listing what your strengths and weaknesses would be for each topic so that it is clear what you want to remember, which also then makes it easier to revise. Tip number 3 would be creating a revision tool. Now, when I say revision tool, there are definitely a number of different revision tools that you could use, and I know that different revision tools may work for each person. The revision tool that I found that helped me was having an A4 piece of paper for each topic. So, for example, one A4 piece of paper for social influence, one for memory, one for attachment. Then on that A4 piece of paper, splitting up the paper into different columns, which would represent each of the subtopics within those topics. And then within each of those columns that represents one of the subtopics, you would write up probably 6 points for the AO1, which would just be the point, not expanded upon as you wouldn't have space to do that. But it would essentially be a prompt that you would remember to enable you to expand upon if you were asked that question in an exam. And then you would maybe have 2 strengths or 2 limitations for each of the topics. Again, only the point and not expanded upon. You could even write the strength and the name of the study you would include, if that would help as well. But essentially, the idea of this revision tool is that everything for that subtopic will be on that piece of paper, which then allows you to easily refer to the AO1 and AO3 for each of the subtopics. But then the overall A4 piece of paper would be referring to the overarching topic, whether that's social influence, whether it's memory, whether it's attachment. And it just makes it easier to refer to all of the information within one place. My fourth tip would be perfecting your evaluation. The reason I say this is because in the exam, good evaluation is important to be awarded more marks. Even if you do have a valid strength or weakness, if you don't explain or expand upon this properly, then you may be limiting yourself with getting higher marks. It is important that you spend time perfecting how you write your strengths and weaknesses to maximise your marks, ensuring that you outline your point. Then you further elaborate with any evidence, a further explanation and analysis of your point, before you then link this back to your initial point, essentially saying what this means and why it is a strength or weakness. The final sentence of your evaluation may start with, therefore this means, or therefore this suggests, or this shows, or this is a strength, or this is a limitation because. There is not one set way, but the point is that you do expand upon your initial strengths and limitations to ensure that you are maximising your evaluation marks. My final tip that I would say is to practice exam questions and 16 markers. They say that practice makes perfect, and that is true. By practicing exam style questions, not only will you know what to expect in an exam, you'll increase your confidence in answering these questions so that you are not shocked when you see them in an exam. This can help you to test your knowledge and understanding as well. Completing 16 markers is a good way to revise, as it helps you to see if you can remember the content and also gives you the confidence that you can answer questions related to that topic within an exam. It's important if you can also get someone else, like a teacher, to review your 16 markers and provide guidance on what you've done well and also how you can improve. So there are my top 5 revision tips that I would give for getting an A star in your AQA A-Level Psychology exam. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of the revision tips that I've given, but I hope this has been valuable and will help you to improve your grades within psychology.